Dodo na maybe some. I'm just trying to understand the way a buying sesa, a buying bar. I mean, we use some of these institutions. Say yebeko na. I mean, the year who say na happen. Okay. Ninyina no nneɛma bi a ɛha but ma mene Brigadier Richard de enkomo over adopa what we can baje
Metonka Brigadier old man old retired long ago 1979 no way
Kessben.
that time crowd there ni enyin say me kra
the man watch we yes me da se
ai Obana bibi aboko de ahode wo ho Erade adom yenso ye ho ye pa na anopa ye frɛ wa enkomo ne yetiawa national security ya set an institution etisa no up the edikai ye pese yetiase in security of this nation. You are a former national security advisor as well. Enti national security no ye ka ya. And why is it part of our security setup? Womo adwuma pa esese womo ye no anything.
Well, also your boy as a country, both internally and externally. Internally, no, friends in Ghana police, no mobile. Externally, Ghana armed forces. Police service, they serve the people. The armed forces, as the name implies, is a force with weapons to shoot to kill. So therefore, no, unless we are needed in the country. Otherwise, no, the demand is to prevent other people from disturbing our peace from our borders, outside our borders. Now, in the military, no, remember 1960, that is 65 years ago. And every time we are, ever had things to do with the military, the first time was 1965. President Nkrumah then we changed the chief of defense staff and then the army chief of staff, who was General Ankara. Meaning how much that played a part in the overthrow of the Nkrumah regime. The Senate had a hand in it. A few months later, in 1966, in the 4th of February, he fought to abandon. And it's been going on for quite some time. So what I'm saying is that if you are handling the armed forces who are armed, who are taught to shoot to kill, not shoot for fun, you have to be careful how you handle them. Let me say, Ghana, I think all over the world, sometimes governments, even in the United States, I've been watching from afar what is going on there. Sometimes, civilians don't take too much of this into account.
Okay.
And we once in a year, what I'm saying is that the national security is to do with the protection of the country, especially from outside the country. Internally, no, and when the police cannot be like the issue of the Galamsey, it's all to do with our national security, the health of our nation. If we are taking water to drink, food to eat, necessarily poison, too good, poison, it's to do with our health, to do with our national security. So when you talk about national security, it's everything to do with our existence, our security, the food we eat. A part of it.
Interesting. Now, Ninyina no ye part of it. I mean, in recent time under the 1992 dispensation, you woman. I mean, it looks as if said national security, it's taking a different twist. But even before we come to that, the composition of the national security, and the same because where the kind actually most a ban of external security, a military, ejuma, internal security, police, immigration, enti a ban of national security setup, the men that work within that setup, where are they drawn from and what are they supposed to do as professionals one more about together to form that particular unit?
Okay, since Ghana became independent in 1957, what I have seen during my long years in the armed forces, we have institutions across the country. At the highest level, we have the president, we have the Council of State to advise him on how to deal with these matters. We have the police council. All these institutions are set up to help the authorities who take decisions, take the right decisions. So there's cooperation, across the board between the military, the police, the other security services who all work together to protect the state. So it shouldn't be difficult for the president, for example, as the commander in chief of the armed forces, because there are institutions within the constitution to assist him to do the right thing.
Okay.
Just imagine right now, for example, I left the army long ago, but between the course, once a while I hear what's going on, because once in the soldier, you always remain a soldier. But we have been doing things in the country, and I think not only in Ghana here, but even in established democracies like America, Britain, and yet common. But American recent years, you see what's going on in America, I'm sure you've read it. The constitution is not put aside, and things are happening which are not in the constitution, and there are safeguards for all these. So what I'm saying is that if Obi Yebibi now as a civilian, as a press, you have the law courts and so on. These things have all been provided for to seek redress. But from time immemorial, I mean, I'm going back, and I began by going back to very early 1965. I took one Nunoo-Mensah, and Ghana has never had real peace until 1979, for example, when you had a massive revolution, which was started by young officers, the late President Rawlings. So it's been a long history of chaos. But what bothers me is that we don't learn lessons from this history of chaos. We keep on adding onto it. And there are bodies there to advise us. But I mean, those who are taking decisions at the highest level, the president, the armed forces, the chief of defense staff, other service commanders. These are all there. But somehow we manage to bypass them and do things which are not, are not worthy of being done. But if we do them, for example, remember another example. We have a new government in power. Yes, sir. The NPP government under our past, immediate past President Akufo-Addo left office. Now, before they left office, I was one chief of defense staff long ago, 1979, with the rank of the Brigadier General, the Brigadier General, 1 star. You have seen about 3, 4-star general. So what would be?
Exactly.
Do the same job. Now, when I look at this, I said to myself, what's going on? And the outgoing government was almost on the way up. They came up with all the promotions affecting those that are going to the government by the income administration. If I was there, I would have told the president, please, and he now, as you are leaving, let him come and assess the situation and deal with it appropriately as they see fit. But if you do what you've done, you are creating problems which are not. I mean, there are many problems to do with promotions.
Okay.
Ranks, salary, pay, all kinds of things. But you are creating a problem and leaving the problem at the baby at the hands of the income administration. And you're fair. But politicians everywhere, I don't know whether they are trained to leave their income administration, headache. I'm an headache. I don't like doing that. But and again, we not even in Ghana. If you go abroad, you see what's going on in America, you wonder. I don't know no men within the administration to advise the president or your answer. So the problems that we encounter, we don't only solve them, but we also add on to them to become more complex for the income administration, which doesn't help.
Interesting. Now, the concerns again, even with all of this, and now in the midst of all of this, anytime you bring a change of government, as I say, you go after people in the manner in which we are seeing say in about a day or two ago, the former central bank governor, ya ransacky ni fie ni CCTV, ya tutu ni nyina ne cars, ya fa edru baby, ya jai cars nesi kwemu, and all of that. I mean, is that really the sort of worker, as I said, national security, no, ya de ya na?
You know, many of these things that are happening are wrong. And the military or the police or whatever, other institutions of national security, the way you yourself as a human being brought up from home influences your behavior. You know, some go to the military or the security forces and cause havoc, mayhem. But when you be at a 250 ever, you won't do them. Someone like me will not do certain things that have been done. For example, there are laws within the country which operate. So if I go to if the military, for example, it will be a bonnet now our official position. The laws are there. I mean, they are there how to deal with them. We have a constitution. We have a parliament. Yeah. We are still, you know, don't behave as if we are in a police state where military go and arrest somebody, take a property. That is not the way it should be done. But I'm saying that I saw these things in the 60s. But I want a bomb or two at Kulungugu. I was in the military and saw what happened then. And today, and when I look back to what happened, I said, this is terrible. I want JB Danko was arrested and so on. You know, and I was young. I didn't have a voice. But in there I can marry them. If I was that position today, I would have resigned. But then I was too young to take such a decision. Hello?
No, I have power for Bitiopa.
What, Jimmy?
Yes.
Yes. You know, and so what I'm saying that it's not only, I don't know, the whole world is in chaos. Wrong things are happening. People, it required Duterte, a man called Duterte, a president of Philippines, to take a gun and shoot drug pushers, kill them himself. They say he's facing trial at the Court of Justice. But you know the guys who are, the press, all of us, should be responsible enough to say, sir, this thing we are doing, to my mind, is not right. I have to go, I'll do in order to go arrest one Mr. Tibu, you know, the Commissioner of Police.
Okay.
1964. I was a captain. That's a long time ago. And I
see.
And there, as head of the military, I left Rawlings government. I resigned. I was sacked. I came back. Then I resigned and left Rawlings and went away. Because wrong is wrong. Let's do the right thing.
Say, you know, advice, no, Ebeye Day. I mean, Ebeye saying with the current happenings, to a far extent, it comes back to the government, and then acquire one more person first one more money. And see, a foot to the Ebeye saying for those operatives within the national security.
I put see, we are made for money. We are doing for money. The military will make you even worse human being. Military teaches you to be visual, to be deadly, but building with common sense. And now I'm by there, and it's okay with for. So I say that people like you in the media, all of us have a duty to see wrong and say, look, this is a red line. This one is not right. Let's have the courage. Whether you are the NPP or you are the NDC, this is your confidence.
Very well, Fachabe, and that is retired Brigadier Nunoo-Mensah speaking to us at